And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the day. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He's Jalen versus everybody.
What up, though?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
What do we do?
We're gonna be back. What they want.
Man, we've changed a lot in 7 years. I'll tell you that much. This used to really be a pop the trunk situation. Now we got staff on the East Coast and the West Coast. This is becoming like a
No doubt.
But that doesn't mean we won't go with the Grizzly topics. And this one, I couldn't put. You know I'm not really a journalist, and I'll put anything on the television show. But the executives don't listen to the podcast, so we can discuss this. Your man, Lambeau. You know who Lambeau is.
I do know Lambeau.
If you don't know who Lambeau is a rapper, but not really. He's most known for what, Jalen Rose?
Dating LeBron James' mom.
Well, he all of a sudden has decided that he's going to write a tell-all book. And Lambeau has some claims in this book that are kind of spicy. You want to know what those claims are?
I do, sir.
He's claiming that LeBron James was a side piece of none other than the Queen Beyonce.
What?
He's claiming that LeBron James has a secret child. And then at the end he claims, to find out all the information, you need to buy my book. I have a lot of questions. Number one, first question, yes or no, will this book ever be printed?
No.
Okay.
Will not see the light of day.
Will never. Number two, and I want to be very clear.
There will be no typed pieces of pages that can fold into a book with this content featuring all of these individuals that you just suggested.
And let me also just say this is you know, we joke about not really being journalists or whatever, but I cannot say allegedly, reportedly enough times that we are not claiming these are real claims. This is just something that he hinted at in a social media post. But it's messy. And when you saw
what's messy is I knew who it was and you didn't. Well, we don't prepare for the show, clearly.
No.
So I didn't know that you was going to bring this topic up.
Of course not.
You
I would never talk about this on a
assumed that
television
I
show.
would knew who that was, and it's fascinating for me that I actually remembered who it was.
Mm-hmm. Because he was around. It doesn't seem like he's been around a lot, and now we kind of know why.
Well, a lot of people don't really know about him.
Yeah. This is even better that I could never put on the TV show.
But let me just say one other thing real quick.
Please do.
Jay and Beyonce, they're the first family. Mm-hmm. Okay. The other people that qualify clearly are Barack and Michelle.
Yes.
Okay.
And Steph and Aisha are up there.
Steph and Aisha, they're
power
like
couples.
They're like some. If for anybody that just started following this
that
show,
country singer, no?
Please no. The one that was sucking her toes.
No, that's Rita Ora.
Oh yeah, I
love Gwen Stefani. I got a thing for Gwen Stefani.
You see, I brought that up a couple of times. You see the lovely Joie on the wall right now.
Look at you pronouncing her name appropriately.
No question. With her 3 kids. So we support power couples on this program.
Of course.
So I cannot allow slander to happen uniquely between 2 of the more storied power couples, which is LeBron and Savannah, J and B. We are not going to do that. That's a separation between church and state.
Lambeau, you're just trying to sell books.
Okay.
You're just trying to get a book deal.
I just got to throw that out there.
Who's the publisher that's like, oh, I'm really interested in this book? You know? Because you know the office that he goes to the publisher that's interested in this? He's got to climb downstairs in the basement. You know what I mean? It's like a residential. It's not in a skyscraper on the 50th floor. Whatever the publisher is that's going to publish this book.
Man, they got lawyers on top of lawyers. They're not going for that.
This book is going to be a book. It's going to be one like those Drake. He's going to do a notes function thing and then take a picture of it and then put it on social media. I do not believe that LeBron James would ever disrespect Beyonce and Jay-Z that way. Nope. It's just not going to happen.
Or what about this?
Savannah, sorry. Savannah and
this is what gets lost in all of that. Like, there's so much to go around. And what about Beyonce? So she's just gonna be like front row at the game with Jay and then kicking it with LeBron on the low. Like,
that's just not
we got to
happening.
give everybody more credit. You know
I'm
what
really
saying?
surprised that Beyonce had her bare butt cheeks out in these promo shoots.
You were.
I'm shocked by it.
You were.
I'm shocked. Well, first of all, they used fake twins when they did a promo shoot with the twins.
But they used real Beyonce
butt cheeks. They sure did. They sure did. I also love in the photo shoot, you know, because I'm not in the best shape. I don't look like David Beckham with my shirt off. You know what I mean? Like, I like that he's like, the photographer's like, Beyonce, move your arm down a little bit. Let's cover up that chest and put your leg right over his belly button there. Jay, can you move your arm a little bit? So one of the things I get talked about a lot is people find out I work for ESPN or whatever. One of the first things they say is like, what's Stephen A like? Like, what's Stephen A really like? You know, it'll be like, I hate Stephen A. And I cannot say enough times that Stephen A is the best at his profession. Like, Stephen A is the top of the game. He is so entertaining and articulate and just fascinating that he could be talking about a topic that's not particularly interesting, but he makes it seem like life or death.
I got love for him, too. That's my brother. I think I'm the only person at this network that appeared on his television show, quite frankly, and that's appeared on First Take recently. So that's how far back we go.
You were off First Take for a while, though. I know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got banned for 1.4 reasons.
I was banned from First Take.
Actually, Molly and I got a chance to sit down and break bread with Stephen A. during the finals, and Charles Barkley. There's so many people we got a chance to kick it with. But one of the things that always gets lost in this industry is people don't know, like, this is a true work environment. And so just because you see our characters play out on television, like sometimes people will be like, what do you feel about Stephen A? You know, what he said to Molly, or he cut her off when they were trying to talk, or whatever type of thing. That's a debate show. Mm-hmm. So everybody's going to be talking loud. Everybody's going to be talking over one another. Everybody's going to disagree.
Stephen A and Max don't have a fist fight when they rap.
Correct.
Every day they don't have a fist fight at noon.
Exactly. Max is my brother too. We were actually on the plane with Max, and he got a chance. He let me hear his late brother Sam's rhymes. And it sounds straight like mid-90s Black Moon, Mobb Deep. Bars. It was dope.
Max got bars too.
It was dope.
Max would definitely take out Obi-Wan Jacoby in a battle.
So for everybody on the outside looking in, like, I got fortunate in this industry because I literally get the chance to work with people I love. Mike Greenberg, Michelle Beadle. Obviously, we just talked about the people on First Take, and I didn't even mention the person that I'm actually in a relationship with that works on First Take as well. And obviously, my brother David Jacoby.
Oh, thank you very much.
And so the reason why I had to stress that is because, as you were saying, you know, people think his television persona is who he is off wax.
Well, we got a little peek into who he is off wax when he went on the Snoop Dogg show. Now, before I said, Jalen, have you seen...
Snoop?
I said, Jalen, have you seen this clip? And Jalen said, no. And he said, play it for me. And I was like, no, I want to get your honest reaction. This is Too Hot for TV, Stephen A. Smith on the Snoop Dogg show. I'm not going to ask you a question afterwards. I just want you to honestly
When was this?
React. I saw the clip yesterday. I think it was very recently. Play the clip, Reg.
For titties. Always. That's true. I'm going to answer that. I mean, I know I'm associated with Walt Disney, but damn it, everybody knows that I'm a bottom feeder.
Okay.
I mean,
he was being asked a succession of quick take questions. Hot or cold? You know what I mean? This or that. And then obviously he was asked that last question in which he said, everybody knows I'm a bottom feeder.
Now, there's a lot of ways to take that. You got to be careful.
There's a lot
to
of
put that
ways
out
to
there.
take that.
No question.
I also like that he mentioned the Disney Corporation right before he expanded
well, he
on the
mentioned
question.
it after.
Yes.
Actually.
No, before he said bottom feeder, he was like, I'm a member of the Disney. I'm a cast member of the Disney.
Right. No. That was the second time he said it. He answered the question initially.
I love
and
this
then
so
he
much.
gave the disclaimer.
I love
and then
it so
he
much.
doubled down.
You know what? I think we need more Stephen A. in our lives, not less. We need more.
And the funny thing is he was talking like they weren't mic'd up. Like, yeah, you know.
That was off wax Stephen A. Definitely off wax Stephen A. Couple things. One thing I want to say about our industry, and in particular our corporation. You know, I don't do a lot of media criticism. I stay away from that stuff. I don't cover the coverage. But I get these emails from ESPN about the news of the day. And I get the email from the newsroom, and one of the big news topics that was being pushed was Greg Hardy getting a UFC contract after his knockout. And to me, it just seems wrong. Like, why are we discussing this man who is not a notable professional fighter, and he's a former football player, but we all know why he's not a football player anymore. And it just seems to me that the best thing to do, the best way to handle any Greg Hardy story moving forward is to ignore it.
I disagree.
Why is that?
Because he's a notable public figure for all of the reasons.
Wrong reasons.
For all of the reasons that we should pay attention to domestic violence and how your talent is something that can trump it and get you a job with the Dallas Cowboys. But also when they feel like you're not good enough anymore, like Ray Rice, can keep you out of the NFL. So if he was just a new fighter in the UFC and he just got his third knockout, we wouldn't be talking about him anyway. Mm-hmm. But because it is Greg Hardy, former football player, that we saw perform on the football field on Sundays, which he's paid taxes on multi-millions of dollars, at some point, it's up to us to continue to highlight what he's doing now, but also you have to come with a disclaimer of what he's been through and what he's done, and it's all been self-inflicted.
Diana Moskovitz, I'm sure I'm saying her name wrong, of Deadspin, had a write-up where she poured through all the court testimony, all of the evidence, all of the pictures of the incident that happened with Greg Hardy and Charlotte. And it's just horrific details. Horrific details. Drug use was involved. I don't know if Greg Hardy was using it, but drug use was involved. There was guns.
It was terrorist.
Physical violence. It was it was so cringeworthy that it made me feel like, you know what? I don't feel like Greg Hardy deserves our breath. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just want him to go away.
I know what you mean by that. Like, there are certain people, and I say this as a mechanism of motivation and having the ability to compartmentalize than literally. Mm-hmm. You have to find ways to do that in your own life and make people, what I say, quote unquote, are dead to me. Whereas I'm just not going to give them my time, my energy, my space in any way, shape, or form, because for whatever reason I feel like they're unworthy.
Yeah.
And so I get why you feel like that about him, but since we cover sports, I think it's our obligation to acknowledge, Dana White is giving him a contract. Because if he was to re-sign with an NFL team, we would talk about it.
But I feel like we would also judge that NFL team for signing a player with this kind of history, yet in the UFC, it's just like, oh, look at now we got another name in the UFC. And more people are going to buy his fight than they would a legitimate fighter who was dedicated to the craft that had the same record he does.
Some of them to see the train wreck.
Exactly, to see the train wreck.
But here's the important point and distinction that we're actually making. As fans, we care about if we consider it a skill sport like basketball or a blood sport like MMA fighting.
I can't tell. And it feels like a skill sport to me.
But what I mean is, like, when I go play basketball, my life isn't in jeopardy.
No.
When I get in the octagon, it is.
Yeah.
So that's the distinction I make. When we see that level of physical violence, people don't care about PEDs in the NFL. They care about them in Major League Baseball. Because we look at those athletes and say, that sport is so physical, if I had to take something, I would too.
Sure.
So it's the exact same thing for me as it relates to the MMA fighting, but also it is up for us to highlight that his skill kept him out of the NFL, but now MMA see that UFC see that they can make money off of him. So guess what they're doing? They're actually taking advantage of it.
And it's also sometimes that the narrative becomes the facts. Like if you ask a regular sports fan that was familiar with Greg Hardy, like, oh, what happened? Like, there was some domestic violence thing. I think there was like futons and guns. Like that's what they would say. But I've read all the details and the testimony from that evening, and it goes deeper than that. It really paints him in a light where you're like, ooh, I think this is just an evil person.
Yeah, horrific.
Like, I think
details.
you are an evil person. Announcement that North America will host the World Cup in 2026. So we've got a conglomerate of Canada. Shout out to Canada.
Shout out.
The USA and Mexico that trident of countries will host the World Cup in 2026.
Living in America. We got to win. But in all honesty, though, like Can we get our thing together with Canada and Mexico before we bring the world into this?
It does seem like.
Can we handle our business?
It does seem
first?
like we need to have a little conversation.
Am I
first.
missing something?
Yeah, it seems like
I'm one of the sports personalities.
Yeah. It's like before we start this group project, we gotta hash some things out.
I know
first.
you're giving me the news of the day. You do a terrific job of finding your emails.
No problem.
But
finding my emails, that was disrespectful. That was disrespectful. But great job finding your emails, Jacoby.
But I'm also a person that pays attention to the political news, and I know that we ain't all seeing eye to eye right now.
No.
So as we bring the world into a dysfunctional relationship,
exactly. Maybe we might want to tuck some of that under the rug before we invite someone over. We got some time though. We got 8 years though. We got 8 years to get that together.
Okay, got it.
Let's give the people what they want.
I don't know how else to say this, so I'll just say it.
What is it, Linda?
I think we should see other people.
Are you breaking up with me? On a roller coaster?
Well, we do have a lot of fun. Maybe we should stay together.
An emotional roller coaster? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
I just need a little me time.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Draymond Green trolled LeBron James with his shirt. We all saw it. But he trolled Tristan Thompson with some words. Let's listen.
We just ain't cut the same. I told one of them dudes from Cavs after the game, he tried to shake my hand. I said, Tristan, we ain't cut the same.
Jalen Rose, soft move or boss move, denying Tristan Thompson the handshake?
Boss move!
I knew you were going to say that.
I need to see more of this in sports.
Okay.
Because when you're a fire-breathing dragon and you're face-to-face with me for 7, 6, 5, 4 basketball games, and then the game end, and I'm all like, oh, dog.
We've seen it.
That's phony. You meant what you said to me, dog. And I'm going to remember what you said.
You called me all kinds of words.
You said meet you in the back, right?
Yeah.
Now you want to come give me that? No, dog, I'm going to leave you hanging. I am not mad at that at all. That is classic footage that I wish our network would run more. I'm glad this program has that. I didn't realize that even existed.
General Manager Bob Myers was previously quoted as saying that KD can have any contract he wants. It will not be a difficult negotiation. Well, he was at the parade, and maybe he might have enjoyed a couple of adult beverages, maybe some Henny or some of that champagne, and he sort of had a little amendment to what he said earlier. Let's listen.
And then I heard you tell Kevin Durant he can have whatever contract he wants next year.
Yeah, that was just for the media. He can't have anything like that at all.
Mid-level.
Yeah, mid-level, behind closed doors.
Because I think last year he told Steph he could have any contract he wants too.
Yeah,
so
well, yeah, that was different. He's been here from the run, the way before days. He's earned it.
And there ended the Warriors' cohesion, right?
KD got to hear it from people like us in the media. KD's got to hear it from people on Twitter. KD's got to set up burner accounts so he can respond to these people on Twitter. And now KD is hearing it from inside the house. His own front office is kind of clowning him for his decision to join their team. And don't even look at me like I'm reading too much into this. Because you could tell from the crowd reaction that didn't go over very well.
It didn't go over well with KD. It was awkward for Steph.
Awkward for everybody.
How he was looking.
Yeah.
And when you see the clip again, look at Sean Livingston. They like, man.
Everybody was like, Bob is the reason that Jordan Bell's Henny bottle was empty. Bob is the reason because he was a little excited, feeling himself a little bit when he made those comments.
And also, here's the thing, though. If you are KD, he's talked ad nauseum about the fact that while winning championships are terrific and wonderful, and he hopes to win more, that they don't necessarily mean life or death to him anymore. He understands that level of, I'm playing basketball because this is what I do, not who I am. And I just see that he's trying to converge those worlds as somebody that's a growing 29-year-old man for public consumption that just happened to be really good at basketball. So he's sensitive to that.
I felt terrible for KD when I watched that clip.
And so now, when it's the media saying you need to have your own squad, or fans saying you jumped on the bandwagon,
you're a snake.
For
That's
you
fine.
to kind of understand that, wow, this is the depiction that people have within the organization, That's a gut punch.
But it's one thing if someone in my family pulls me aside and wants to criticize something I did or do because they want to make me better. But to make a joke out of it into a microphone during a celebration, that just seems like it's not what you do, it's how you do it. That was done very wrong.
Well, here's what happens. When you start drinking, sometimes you start telling the truth.
I know.
That's one.
Sounded like
and I'm not blaming him on doing that. I'm just saying. And number two, when you start winning at the clip that they do, you start to feel a level of confidence.
Of course.
Feeling myself.
Bob Myers gets a lot of credit, as he should.
And shout out to my homie Mr. Fab in that clip with Draymond.
KD's ego isn't the only one that Mr. Myers needs to deal with now, because Draymond Green had this to say about potentially signing an extension with the Warriors this summer. He said, quote, "If I continue to play my game, if I continue to do better, they gotta do me right, or somebody else will." Jalen Rose, are you surprised to hear this from Saginaw's Draymond Green?
No, I'm not surprised. The fascinating thing that when people talk about the Golden State Warriors, we assume that in a salary cap driven sport that they're going to be able to keep their 4 All-Stars forever. Mm-hmm. And each person's situation is different. So when you're trying to split up the pot, is everybody going with a realistic point of view? And so if you're Draymond Green, unlike Steph and KD, you don't have $200 million shoe deals.
No, you don't.
So for Klay, he just got a nice shoe deal as well. So Draymond, the majority of funds he's going to make will be from the team. So it's important for him to continue to keep top dollar, because now I am keeping pace with my brothers where we all making sacrifices, and I made an initial sacrifice for us to be able to attain KD. So for me, I understand what he's saying, but the undercurrent of also what he alluded to, the somebody else will part is, I hear the whispers from the outside and on the inside that if somebody isn't going to be here for a long time, maybe I'm the weak link.
That's what I would pick.
And so,
you got he's got 4 rings on his fingers.
If that is the case, I got to get my bread.
He's like, he's got 4 rings on his fingers, what's the 5th? You know, it's like, you know what's nice? Another ring. You know what else is nice? $60 million more. Kyrie Irving, promoting Uncle Drew, doing some press, and he was asked about signing an extension with the Celtics this summer. Well, here's what Kyrie had to say about that proposal.
You are eligible for an extension this summer. I'm just wondering, does your injury change at all how you look at that, even though you have to put some money on the table?
No. Contractually or financially just wouldn't make any sense. Obviously, it's a business at the end of the day. Ownership and management, they're going to feel what's best for our future, and I'm fully supportive of it.
Okay. First of all, I completely agree with Kyrie. It does not make any sense business-wise for him to sign an extension this summer. But if the reporter did phrase it as, hey, you've got an injury, perhaps that will change the way you're thinking. But it does bring up there's some rumors he might want to go to the Knicks. Could things get awkward between the Celtics and Kyrie as we get toward the trade deadline next season?
Possibly. And the reason why we're discussing it, to be honest, isn't what he said at that point, is how matter-of-fact he was. Mm-hmm. You would have thought that he would have been really enthusiastic about what happened with the team and building on it next year. He did, however, allude to him being committed to helping them win the championship. So I'm not saying he's not happy there, but what I am saying is he doesn't have to be there forever. And he alluded to that because he knows it's not his call. We're going to allow management to sort out who comes and who goes type of thing. Yep. But when you're paying attention to the dynamic of sports, in basketball and football, there is a salary cap. So therefore, if we're paying Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward maximum dollars, and all of a sudden we realize that Rozier, Smart, Jalen Brown, and Tatum can all play, now it becomes a strength in numbers things, because you got to divide up the pie the best way you can. But he is a terrific talent. I think he puts him in a different stratosphere, having that go-to kind of player, in particular in the playoffs. But I just like how he also seems to be growing into a young man right in front of our very eyes. And I think leaving Cleveland was a big step in that direction.
Kyrie Irving is a young man, and Lil Wayne did something that made me feel like an old man. So I need to get on the therapy couch for a second. I need your help, Jay.
Okay.
Because Lil Wayne, in my mind, violated. Lil Wayne applied for the trademark of New Dirty Bastard. Now, you know my love of the Wu-Tang Clan.
So much so This ain't fake hype.
No.
Like, ODB is right behind his head,
yes,
literally.
Yes. When you cut to my shot,
ain't
you will
fake
see
news.
Old Dirty Bastard right there on the wall behind me. And I feel like it is a violation for you to trademark New Dirty Bastard, which is just a play on his name, and try to make that your thing. That is Old Dirty Bastard's thing. You change one word on it. Now, I had to look in the mirror after I felt this, because I felt strongly about this, and I said, am I just being the old guy that doesn't embrace the new generation? Am I just being the old hip-hop head that says everything was better in the mid-90s? Or do I have a legitimate problem with this action?
I promise I can't think of what it alluded to, but I was just riding in the car yesterday coming to work, and I saw a billboard of a rapper that did the exact same thing, did a part knockoff of another MC's name, and it made me answer the same question. When it's a legend like ODB and he tragically dies the way he did.
He's passed away. It just seems like you're trying to get a little bit of come up off of his legacy.
Do you think maybe he's going to do it to pay tribute to him?
Of course he'll say that. But to me, he is such a singular, unique talent that will never be duplicated or replicated. And that was part of the reason he named himself that.
So we'll call
this is wrong.
We'll call this, since you didn't know how to feel and you just turning me onto it, we'll call this a stay tuned.
Yes.
We'll see what the material is.
We'll update on this.
Because for all we know, he may try to get all of the woo together and do some stuff. So I have to see what now is going to be the next step.
I will see as well, and I will reserve judgment until then, but I'm ready to judge.
Okay.
I'm ready to judge.
That's fair.
Yep. Jalen Rose, we have a new segment. New segment alert. Jalen never comes to the meetings.
Yes.
They barely contributes.
Yes.
Just shows up to shoot.
Yes.
But this segment is one that
We're going to have a lot of Mr. Me Too's after this one.
It is time for regional or culture. So we all remember Jordan Bell ran out of Henny at the parade, which had us and the staff thinking. Very simple question, Mr. Rose. Is Henny cultural or regional?
Cultural, no doubt about it. When you watch the NBA players celebrate and you watch the NHL players celebrate,
didn't see a lot of Henny. I didn't see Alexander Ovechkin drinking Henny out of the cup. So we're saying cultural with
no
Hennessy.
question about it. Think about who the two pitchmen for Hennessy. Rakim and Nas?
That's a good point. That's a good point. They know their audience. It's not really regional. I would say Crown Royal is regional. Hennessy, cultural. Moving on. Ironing your jeans, cultural or regional?
I can't front.
What is it?
Cultural.
I think so too. I've never seen someone that looks like me iron jeans. I've seen someone that look like me iron pants, put creases in there, be obsessive about ironing. I've seen those people. But jeans?
My brother Juwan Howard, now coaching with the Miami Heat. You've never seen him without two things, a haircut and a crease in his pants.
Does he iron his jeans? Have you ever ironed jeans?
He was ironing them in college.
Have you ever ironed jeans?
I put them in a steam.
Can I tell you something? I don't even wash my jeans.
Moving on. Wash your underwear?
I do. Moving on. Are family reunions cultural or regional? This could go both ways.
I say this is regional.
You think this is regional?
It is.
What region would you say family reunions are more popular?
They're called something different, it seems like.
Do you think
in different parts
Southern
of the
thing?
Yeah. I'm from the Midwest, so it's something that we did. It doesn't seem more so like
it's not
a West Coast vibe.
I'm going to say non-coastal. Family reunions, you don't see a lot of coastal family reunions. And again, we're making generalizations here. Don't add us and tell us that, whatever. Like, I understand. We're making generalizations, but I would say that
or do add us and help us out.
Family reunions, regional. Next. This one's tough. Waffle House.
Wow.
Cultural or regional?
Wow. See, like
Waffle House. Regional.
Regional.
Southern.
Because the first time I got exposed to it, being a Detroit native, was in Atlanta.
In Atlanta was where I first had my first Waffle House experience as well.
No question about it. And for those that don't know, it's the greatest living, breathing experience ever. If you haven't had Waffle House, you're not enjoying life.
Oh, wait a second. I'm about to say something I'm going to get in trouble for. I think Waffle House might be overrated.
Stop it, right?
I think Waffle House might be overrated. Jalen, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Sit back down. Sit back down. Don't leave the show.
Amen.
This is my personal opinion. I can't be wrong about my personal opinion. I want to apologize to Rembert Brown, all my ATLians. I just have to say that in my experiences, I have found it to be a glorified diner. It's a diner.
I got 3 words for you.
It's a diner.
I got 3 words for you.
I know what it's going to be. Smothered, covered.
Scattered.
Yeah, no.
What are they?
I don't know. I don't speak Waffle House. It might be cultural.
Smothered, and covered.
I don't know what that means. I don't even know what dish we're talking about.
Oh, my goodness.
I understand. Look, it's like I'm not going to fake it. This is the way I really feel. You want me to fake it and like be down with the Waffle House movement? I'm not.
Hey, man, let me just tell you something.
I apologize to Rembert Brown.
When you in this is regional because when you in Atlanta, it's two things you must do: go to a strip club or eat at Waffle House. Period. Now, they're responsible things that I would advise you to do, like go to the MLK Museum.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some other cultural things you can do there.
Their downtown is amazing.
Yes. That should be a commercial for Atlanta. Jalen Rose. Should be a quote, like Jalen Rose. Strip clubs and Waffle House.
And you got to go to MLK Museum. It's amazing. They do a terrific job.
So you go there, what's your order? Does it go museum, strip club, then Waffle House? Or Waffle House, strip club, then museum?
And I got a chance to go see MLK's residence as well. It's terrific.
We have one more. Khakis. Cultural or regional?
So it's professional, which for me makes it cultural.
I think it's cultural. I don't see a lot of khakis on the West Coast. But you see a lot in the South and the Northeast. But I think it's cultural. You do not see a lot of people that look like you wearing khakis.
Well, the people that you saw wearing khakis that look like me were probably engaging in different activities. So it was like more segmented.
That's a good point. Yeah. So, Jalen, we have a long, long history of being critical of Uber drivers' behavior.
And one thing I got to say real quick, because this is the pod. All I know is this.
What's that, Mr. Rose?
This song that's playing right now.
That we didn't pay for, that we're using illegally.
Is arguably one of my favorite beats.
Oh.
Along with Dead Prez hip hop ever.
Both of which are heavily integrated into the Jalen and Jacoby.
Correct. Like, I love this beat so very much.
Really?
And for those that are listening to this program,
range, DJ Motown
it's
Clown.
been used timelessly. It's been used fast. It's been used slow. It's been used by R&B artists. I mean, it's been used by rap artists. It was used by artists in the 70s, 80s, 90s, please cut and spice this beat. Like, this is, Reg, I'm in heaven right now, musically.
Your face changed. Like I haven't seen you this happy in years. Now you're dancing. This is great. So my car is being shipped from Los Angeles to New York City. It's going to arrive sometime this week. And one thing that crossed my mind is, the weather's different out here. I need new tires.
Definitely.
And the next thing that crossed my mind is, there's only one place that I go when I need new tires, and that's Goodyear.
It don't get as cold in LA as it does out here.
I think I'm going to have 2 types. Is that how it works now? You have 2 types. I got winter tires. I get the tires changed. I'm always going to make sure I have Goodyear tires, because when it comes to choosing tires, Goodyear.com helps you choose what's best. They're really the best tires on the market. They last forever. And I need some all-weather tires, so I need to make the switch to Goodyear tires. Jalen, you're from Detroit. You know a lot about tires.
Yes, indeed. And you're definitely going to need them when you're out here on the East Coast.
One thing I love about Goodyear tires, too, great logo. It looks good on the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Classic.
I love that logo. So me and you, for years, have been complaining about Uber drivers' behavior. And I know that it might paint us in a certain light to complain about these things, like first world problems or whatever. But let me tell you, we complain about the over conversation or the ear hustling.
I brought that up on Get Up today, and I didn't get a chance to
finish. You got shut down. Mike Greenberg shut you down.
But I didn't get a chance to finish my statement.
That's fine. Would you like to finish your statement now?
No.
Okay, good. Because I got some new news from Uber. Uber has applied for a patent to use artificial intelligence to determine if a potential rider is intoxicated. Now, you might think, now, how would they do that? Are they going to incorporate a breathalyzer on your phone? No. The user's behavior on their phone is matched against their usual behavior using information like location, data input accuracy, data input speed, interface interaction behavior, the angle at which the user is holding their device, and the speed at which they're walking. First of all, there is no way you could tell me that you know whether or not I'm drunk based on the angle at which I hold my phone or the speed at which I put in my location. Okay? Number one, you're never going to be able to find that. Number two, the whole point I'm taking an Uber is because I'm intoxicated. Are you now trying to tell me that I can't get an Uber because I'm intoxicated? That's the whole reason I'm using your business, sir, ma'am.
Here's also Uber. Don't get too cute.
Don't.
Like, so
driverless cars,
right? Like
Uber helicopters.
No doubt. Like,
how about a good smelling ride?
Right. And here's also the thing. You now allow us to tip the drivers. Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
We forgave on this I forgave some things that made me think I wasn't going to use your product again, but I still patronize it because it's a good product.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't a perfect ride by any way, shape, or form.
It's not.
You do have competition in the marketplace that, as a consumer, I just have flat out ignored them. Now you're going to test me to get in your vehicle? Like, you want to get cute with me? I'm only in your vehicle because I need somebody to drive me for a reason.
You know what the thing is in this whole explanation? Oh, we're going to users' behavior on their phone against their usual behavior, data input speed, data accuracy, and interaction. Do you know what they're really going to use? This part. Using information like location. Were you at a bar for the past 4 hours? That's what it's going to be. If we drop you off at the bar and you stay there for 5 hours, we ain't going to pick you up at the bar. No.
This is just like giving the officials more responsibility in sports. I don't need an Uber driver who's focused on what I'm doing with my cell phone. I need him driving me to my location.
That's all I need to do.
Not looking at his
This is our
rearview mirror,
relationship.
trying to figure out what I'm doing in the backseat.
I don't need a company. I don't need artificial intelligence judging me because I was at a bar for 6 hours. Maybe it's a Sunday and I was watching football games drinking soda pops. You know? Stop it, Uber. Stop it. Stop doing driverless cars. Stop doing helicopters. Stop doing private planes. Stop doing artificial intelligence. Start doing a polite, efficient ride exactly where I want to go when I want to go.
And don't open my door for me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that.
I appreciate the gesture and all of that, but maybe when I'm 150 years old, I might need that assistance, but I don't need you to get out of the vehicle.
And run.
I'm trying to get this on a run like a taxi.
They stop the car and they get out and they run around and then they get, like, I don't need that.
When you about to jump in a cab, they do not get out and open the door for you.
I'm not wearing a wedding dress. I can get into the car quite fine by myself.
And it's a terrific gesture. And
if I'm wearing a wedding dress, I'm definitely intoxicated. You feel free not to give me a ride.
Well, Ricky Williams did it.
I know. He looked good too.
But and is it okay for a couple of things to happen? Can the temperature be something I suggest in the music? Okay? Like, I would love to be in the vehicle and I say, hey, here's my first question. Do you have satellite? Usually 80% of the time when I have to ask that question, that means no.
No.
And then before saying no, they push the button, try to act like they fit. I'm like, those stations say not in service.
Can I have a
you
policy?
need to pay for a subscription.
Uber.
You see that.
I have a policy.
You press that 100 times.
Uber, here's a policy for you. Instead of, investing millions of dollars in artificial intelligence to analyze the angle at which I hold my phone, first of all, y'all shouldn't even know that. But second of all, how about this as a policy, Uber? The radio is off when you pick up your passenger, and then the driver, as a routine, politely asks, would you like to listen to something? Because sometimes I get in there and they're listening to like house music or whatever, and it's kind of loud, and I'm like, you're not even considering whether or not I want to listen to this trash music. Like, it's not even on your brain whether or not I want to listen to it.
I want to pull you behind the curtain on something. This is pod exclusive. So, what they've done, and I realize this being a DJ, they think they're playing to the audience of the person that's getting into the car. So what they're doing is stereotyping you, actually.
Really?
No question about it.
I disagree. Some of these dudes seem to love this house music.
No. When they see who's coming to the vehicle, they try to assess the situation because they're trying to make it a pleasant ride for you.
I have a theory about this.
So they're looking at you and they're trying to consider what music you may like before you get in the vehicle.
I have a theory about this. So Jalen Rose, you're a gigantic black man that played in the NBA.
So rap music is blaring when I get in.
But they might recognize you and ask you about basketball, right?
Correct.
I'm not recognizable like that. Like, I'm just a regular dude getting in the back of the car. I think they have a profile that says that I'm on a sports television show. This is my theory. Because more and more people, I'll get in the back of the car, and I could tell who watches and listens to Jalen Jacoby, who doesn't. and they start being like, so who do you think is going to win the finals? They start asking me questions about the NBA. I think that they have writer profiles that give information. That's my conspiracy theory. Do you think it's true? And I want someone to hit me on Twitter to either debunk or prove this theory.
Well, if you are a driver, I mean, to me, you should have some level of intel of who you're about to pick up because there are some interesting individuals walking the earth that you don't want in the back of your car.
But there's privacy, things when you sign up for Uber that we never read. The terms and conditions. Have you ever read terms and conditions in your lifetime?
No, we don't do that.
No one does
you
that.
scroll on the phone.
No one
paragraphs
does that.
and paragraphs. Agree. Yes.
No one's ever done that. No one's ever read those.
Agree.
They can literally be like, you're going to have to give four of your first four children are going to go to the company. I just be like, whatever, agree. You owe us $1 million, whatever, agree. I think that's happening. Someone to hit me up, let me know. Of course, today is Wednesday. What's that mean, Jalen Rose?
Hey, ladies!
It's Women's Wednesday here on Jalen and Jacoby, where we only take female tweets and calls. We have a couple of voicemails. Let's listen to the first one.
What up, though? This is Jasmine from ATL, and I have a quick question for you guys. I recently moved up here in the ATL area and decided to get in the dating scene. Last night, I went on a first date with a guy, and guess where he took me to? The strip club. Now, he did give me money to make it rain, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on wax that I kept some of the money. But anyways, is it cultural or regional to take dates to the strip club? Thank you.
Oh, that's regional.
I'm so happy that we have this segment for the show. Cultural or regional. You guys make me so happy with the way you kicked this thing off. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm going to say, first of all, it's a boss move. Like, it's either going to go really, really poorly or really, really well. Also, I want to say to everyone listening to this program that has never been to Atlanta, strip clubs in Atlanta are different than strip clubs in other cities. Other city strip clubs might be where a couple creepy dudes sit in the corner and give away some money or whatever. It's kind of this low-key, non-party environment. Strip clubs in Atlanta are just the cultural hub of the city. Like, you go there, you eat there, you play pool there, you watch the game there. It's not we're only here to leer at women. It's not that kind of environment. It's a party environment. Okay? So, I believe her name was, I didn't hear Chancellor, I want to say, but I don't know if I got your name wrong. I'm so sorry. I really appreciate this call. One of the best we've ever gotten. So, Jalen Rose, please answer her question.
Well, this is loaded.
Cultural or regional?
So much so, I want to pull people behind the curtain on something that has supported this program for 7 years. Where did she say she was?
Atlanta.
What was she doing in Atlanta? Hanging out at...
first date at the strip club.
For those people that don't know, David Jacoby and I.
New show, David and Jacoby.
For those that don't know.
No, David and Jacoby and I should be the new name of the show.
For those that don't know, David Jacoby and I had our first encounter at a strip club in Atlanta.
Shout to shooters? That's what.
How about that?
Yeah.
You don't know.
And that was
now you know.
2004, I want to say, 2005.
So I think, like, we are probably the most experienced industry individuals to talk about this with.
Dave Chappelle was there that night.
No question.
It wasn't even that late. It was like 7:30.
So, a couple of things. In Atlanta, to take your first date to a strip club is normal. It's like somebody waking up, brushing their teeth.
And then again, it's a sink or swim thing. It's like if you don't want to go to the strip club on the first date, then this ain't gonna work out. I wouldn't do it personally because I would happily find myself in a happy relationship with someone who didn't want to go to the strip club on the first date. But this person was like, this is my lifestyle. This is what's happening.
But this could be an immediate, to answer the question, culture shock to the person who probably doesn't want to go to the strip club, but they do want to go on a date with you. Mm-hmm. So as a guy, here's what he's doing. No question about it.
He's rolling the dice.
And it was a boss move for you to keep some of the money.
No.
Yes, it was. Yes, this works both ways.
No, Mr. Rose.
This works both ways.
No, Mr. Rose. No, Mr. Rose.
This works both ways.
No.
This works both ways. You want to play the game? Well, we going to go out and kick it in the scene where they're tricking, and you tricking on people, and I'm tricking on people, and I can use the money, and you didn't give me none, and you expect me. Like, I done been in places, I probably shouldn't say the 3 letters, but I've been to places with legendary individuals who initiated the Make It Rain movement. Okay?
The pioneers of the
No
weather,
question about it. Rick Ross is making songs and hooks about them, okay? And so, with that being said, you got to take care of the people that you with. So how you play that, David, is I'm giving you X, and then you do what you want to do with it.
Okay.
It ain't just like I'm giving you X for Y.
Yeah, you're not a messenger.
You're
not a messenger.
Correct. You're not doing it. You're not doing it at the pickup. You're doing it in the spot. Here you go in case you want to have a good time. It's no different than buying the food or buying the drinks. Because you don't want them to always have to get the money from you if they want a tip. And you don't want to be out in public shelling out money to somebody you're on a date with. You feel what I'm saying? So that's like real GAME for people that's listening to the program. And we started by saying Atlanta. This is 1,000% regional.
Don't try this. This is for professionals.
Do not try this.
If you're in Denver, don't try this.
Correct.
If you're in Des Moines, don't try this. It's a different environment in Atlanta. This is regional.
Don't try this in Indiana. Don't try this.
Don't.
Okay.
Don't. If you're in Miami, it might work.
This is regional. I'll tell you the places.
Oh, okay. You have some experience with this?
No question. The places are, here are the regions.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not only asking you a question, I'm going to give you the regions in this one. We're going extra credit on this one. This is the first one.
I've never gotten extra credit before.
Okay. Miami.
That'll work.
Houston.
Yup. Treasures. Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I think that's it.
That's the Holy Grail.
That's it. That's it.
That's the Holy Grail.
Correct us if I'm wrong.
Those are the places. No. I lived it. I lived this.
Sounds like there is no expert.
No.
There is no expert on this that's going to tell me I'm wrong about this.
Dr. James Naismith with basketball. And then I've been to 50 cities. I've been to 50 states and experienced this. There are 29 NBA teams. I've experienced this. And I've played in 13 cities. Okay. In a different country in Toronto. Okay, when I tell you the Holy Grail is Miami, Atlanta, Houston.
And this isn't the Holy Grail of strip club cities. This is just the Holy Grail with the strip club environment. It's a party environment, not necessarily a weary, creepy environment.
And if I want to add one more NBA city that will get slept on in this dynamic that qualifies for this, Dallas.
Can I add one that you haven't thought of that's not an NBA city? Montreal.
They have blocks.
Montreal, and it's a mixed gender environment when you go there. It's not just male patrons.
Tampa Bay.
I love me a female and male patrons when back in my old days before I retired, when I used to go to these establishments. I get a hall pass like once a year now. Let's move on before I get in trouble with my wife. We got time for another voicemail. Reg, hit us up.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby. This is Hillary from Alaska. I was just calling to thank Jalen for letting me know that I did have apple cider vinegar in my cabinet, and I had no idea. He said it's in there, but you don't even know it's in there. So thank you for that. I just wanted to say, go Golden State. Shout out, Reg. Everyone have a good day.
The same thing happened to me. Jalen Rose on wax was like, everyone's got apple cider vinegar, but you don't know it. And I was like, no, I don't. Went home. I was like, Joey, do we have apple cider vinegar? She's like, right here. Of course we do.
Everybody has it.
Everybody has it.
It's one of those things.
No one knows where they got it.
Correct. And you don't use it. You don't cook with it. You don't drink it.
No.
You just buy it.
It's just there. It's like the previous tenant had it. It just stays there.
It's fascinating. Weird. And so, again, now that you have the apple cider vinegar, you got to try the potion. Little raw organic honey. I'm not trying to get you to have too much sugar. Okay. Lemon. Clearly add water.
Did you forget your own recipe?
Not at all.
What else is in there?
Cayenne pepper.
Ginger?
And ginger. Those are the ingredients.
Of course, we always support our females, the more intelligent, more responsible, and superior gender of our species. We got one tweet from Sammy It's a lady, female Samantha most likely.
Shout out.
Real quick, Jalen. Will the Sixers re-sign J.J. Redick?
They need to.
Yep.
I don't think, however. So here's what I thought when he signed last year. I'm bringing you guys behind the curtain. I felt like they overpaid him in a wink-wink deal last year.
Felt like it. What did he make, $20 million?
I felt like that was we'll give you 20 this year, and then we'll give you 3 for 35.
Let me tell you,
after
they
that.
need him
Or something like
because
that.
Sarge, he hit some threes. Covington can hit threes, but who else is a shooter on that team?
But here's the other main point. I agree with you. Not only do they need him, but the GM that probably did that wink-wink deal isn't there anymore.
Good point.
Nope.
So I feel like his importance to the team gets overlooked. And if they're going to take the next step, we continue to talk about all of these all-NBA players that they need. He is a player that could, should, and will continue to thrive in that system. They need to find a way to keep him.
Very valuable basketball player in today's day and age. I want to thank all the ladies for calling in, especially Chancellor from Atlanta with that great regional or cultural question. This is our new segment. We need your help with it, so make sure you hit us up on Twitter.
Hit us up
at 98580Jalen. Send in your regional or cultural questions. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Why, Reg? Oh, Reg. Reg. Reg.
We're not done. We're not done.
You better leave that. Don't edit that out, Reg. We all make mistakes.
I love them.